A lot of people see ribs doing this and they think they're perfectly cooked. And maybe they are, if you like fall off the bone ribs. But there's a point before this where the meat is tender enough to bite cleanly from the bone while still holding together. And that's really the perfect tenderness for ribs. It's also the tenderness the pros look for when serving up competition barbecue. But the problem is ribs don't magically reach this tenderness at a certain temperature or time. You have to know what they look and feel like when they're actually perfectly done. So today I'm cooking 3 racks to 3 different stages: undercooked, perfectly bite through tender, and fall off the bone. I'll show you how each one bends, tears, probes, and moves around the bone so you can recognize exactly when your ribs have reached that perfect texture. And as a bonus, I'm cooking a 4th rack of ribs using a completely different low temperature long time method to prove why time alone doesn't determine when ribs are actually done. So let's get smoking. First, I'm removing the membrane from the back of each rack of ribs using a paper towel for grip. Then I'm trimming off the cartilage along the thick side and squaring up the ends, leaving me with a clean competition style rack of St. Louis style ribs. Now I'm seasoning both sides of the ribs with Let's Go general purpose barbecue rub. For this cook, I'm lighting a charcoal base in my Oklahoma Joe's Longhorn offset smoker, my favorite offset smoker. Once the charcoal is established, I'm adding a split of wood and bringing the smoker up to 275 to 300 degrees for the entire cook. Now the ribs are going on the smoker and I'm going to let them smoke unwrapped for around 3 hours. 3 hours later, this is what I'm looking for. The seasoning has formed a nice bark on the ribs. The ribs have developed a nice deep red color and they're measuring somewhere around 150 to 165 degrees internal. They're definitely not tender yet, but they've taken on enough smoke and color, so it's time to wrap them. I'm laying some butter onto heavy-duty aluminum foil and wrapping each rack into a pouch. The pouch makes it easy to open the foil, test the ribs, and close it back up if they need more time. 3 racks are going back onto the smoker at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll remove them after 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and 2 hours so we can compare them at different levels of tenderness. The 4th rack is going into my holding oven at 150 degrees Fahrenheit for the next 18 hours. We'll come back to that one tomorrow. After 1 hour wrapped, I'm opening the first rack of ribs. Let's call these the undercooked ribs because that's exactly what they are. They're probing around 195 degrees internal and there's a little bit of bone pullback. So if you were cooking by temperature or time alone, you might think they're done, but watch what happens when I actually test them. The bones are still locked firmly into place. I can't really move them around or wiggle them at all. And when I flex the rack, it feels stiff and springy. It wants to bounce right back instead of relaxing under its own weight. Now let's test it a different way. The shelf of the Longhorn is actually a perfect place to demonstrate this. When I set the ribs across the edge, the rack stays relatively straight and rigid. It only bends a little bit. And the surface of the meat isn't really cracking or tearing either, a sure sign that these are undercooked. Now, cutting into them, they look juicy, and undercooked ribs are often juicy, but juiciness doesn't necessarily mean tenderness. Let's take a bite. Biting into them, yeah, there's way too much resistance. I have to tug the meat away. It doesn't pull off cleanly. These ribs need more time. So if your ribs look and feel like this when you test them, wrap them back up in the foil and keep cooking them. Now, an hour and 30 minutes later, I'm opening the 2nd rack of ribs. These are what I would consider the perfectly cooked ribs. And right away, you can see several differences. There's more bone pullback, but more importantly, the bones now have a little bit of movement inside the meat. You can see how they kind of jiggle around when I squeeze them together, and they shift slightly in their sockets. They aren't loose enough to pull out, but the meat around them has softened. Now look at the top of the rack. When I bend it, you can see that it's cracking and tearing a little bit on top of the ribs. That's a sure sign that it's tender. And putting them on the front shelf of the Oklahoma Joe's, you can see that they bend a lot more than the undercooked ribs. They don't spring back nearly as much, but they're still not falling apart. Now let's slice into them. The meat looks moist, and when I gently squeeze the rib, it feels noticeably softer than the undercooked rack, but the bite test is the real proof. Biting into it, the meat is tender and my teeth pass through it cleanly. It releases from the bone exactly where I bite it, leaving a clear bite mark behind instead of pulling all the surrounding meat off it. Tender, but it still has structure. Let's try another one. Again, a clean bite with very little resistance, but the meat still has structure. These are perfectly cooked ribs I'd be happy to serve at a barbecue competition. Now, this doesn't mean that your ribs are going to be perfectly cooked after an hour and a half wrapped. It could depend on how thick the ribs are or the temperature you're cooking it at. So unwrap them at an hour and a half because that's usually when you want to start checking. And then if they're not done, wrap them back up and then check back every 15 minutes until they're perfectly tender. Now we have the third rack of ribs, which stayed completely wrapped for a full 2 hours. These are the fall off the bone ribs. Before I even bend the rack, you can see how loose the bones have become. When I push them, they move freely inside the sockets of the meat, and it looks like they could just slide straight out. When I bend them, it looks like they're tearing a lot more and about to fall apart. And when I put them onto the front rack of the Oklahoma Joes, they just basically fall apart and fold to 90 degrees. The only reason they're staying together is because there's a little bit of membrane holding them together. Now let's taste them. There's almost no resistance at all. Instead of leaving a clean bite mark, the meat just tears away from the bone in large strips. The texture is much softer and it's starting to become slightly mushy. Now these aren't necessarily bad ribs, they're just a little bit different. And a lot of people prefer them exactly like this, which is fine. But they're a completely different texture from the previous rack. The perfectly cooked ribs released cleanly when I bit them, while the rest of the meat stayed attached. These ribs want to just fall off the bone when I bite through them, and the meat just tears off in strips. And this also explains why the 3-2-1 method often fails. If you leave your ribs entirely wrapped for 2 hours, you're probably gonna get fall off the bone texture. If you wanna go for that perfect competition style bite through texture, you wanna start checking closer to an hour and a half wrapped. Now, this is a comment that I get a lot. Okay, Steve, if you're unwrapping your ribs at an hour and a half and then you're cooking them for another 30 minutes because they're not quite done, isn't that just the 3-2-1 method because that's 3 hours total? No, it's not, because when you check them at an hour and a half, it releases all of the steam that's built up inside of that pouch, and the ribs cook a lot slower. It slows the cooking down, and when you check them again at the 2 hour mark, if they're not quite done at an hour and a half, then you might catch them in that window of perfect tenderness. But if you left them wrapped for a full 2 hours, you're just going full steam ahead, fully wrapped, it's gonna overcook the ribs and probably give you more of a fall off the bone type texture. Now, the next day, it's time to open the fourth rack. These ribs were smoked until they reached approximately 150 degrees internal and then held for 18 hours at only 150 degrees. At first glance, they look almost undercooked. There's less bone pullback, the bones aren't extremely loose, and the surface doesn't crack as dramatically when I bend the rack. But let's slice into them. They're still nice and juicy, and the meat has stayed firmly attached to the bones. Biting into them, my teeth pass cleanly through the meat with very little resistance, leaving a perfect bite mark behind. So perfectly bite through ribs. These are competition style, perfectly cooked ribs, even though they don't show all the same visual signs as the rack I cooked traditionally for 1.5 hours wrapped. And this demonstrates that rib tenderness isn't just based on a certain time or a time at a certain temperature or reaching a certain internal temperature. It is the combination of time and temperature that tenderizes the rib over time. So if you're cooking a rib at a high internal temperature for a short period of time, you can reach perfect tenderness. And if you cook another rack of ribs at a low internal temperature for a long period of time, you can reach that same tenderness endpoint and get the same perfect texture. So here's what you need to remember. If the rack is stiff and bouncy, the bones are locked in place and the surface doesn't crack when you bend it, the ribs are undercooked. If the rack bends easily, you get some tearing of the meat on top and the bones are moving slightly without pulling free, then those are perfectly cooked ribs. And if the bones are extremely loose and moving around in their sockets, the rack kind of collapses under its own weight and falls apart, then you've reached fall off the bone territory. None of those textures is objectively right or wrong. The goal is just to recognize the stage your ribs are at so you can remove them when you want to reach the texture that you want and the people you're cooking for actually prefer. So which style of ribs do you like better? Do you like perfectly tender bite through ribs or fall off the bone ribs? Let me know in the comment section below, and until next time, happy smoking.